One. Hey everybody, how's it going?
Hey, welcome back to What the Phuc. So this is actually a very exciting week to be listening to the
Ooh,
show.
nice. Episode 41.
Well, the reason is because we're basically waiting on two investors that are pretty hot
Nice.
to either invest or not invest in Phuc Labs.
Okay.
And I actually wanted to go over the storyline of how we got here and kind of share the fundraising aspects of Phuc Labs and fundraising in general, just how to fundraise and how to think about this process, right?
Yeah,
It's not
because
what
I
you
feel like
think
it's
it
an
is.
important topic because no, like a lot of people like really worry about the money first and before they even start the project. Like they have no idea what they need, but they already know they need money.
Well, yeah. So depends on what you're trying to do, right? So what you need to do is think about your vision.
Okay.
So your vision is what you're trying to do, and what you're trying to do is your north star. So this north star guides you in all the decisions that you make for your journey. So think of it as a movie in your life, right? So you have three movies in your life. The first movie in your life is the movie for yourself, just going to the bathroom, going to the shower, thinking
Yeah.
about things when you meditate. That's your personal story. And everyone has a journey that they have to kind of figure out spiritually and all that stuff individually, right?
Yes.
Then you have a movie of your family and your friends. So this is more like the TV show Friends, or whatever TV show you want to say, right? Whatever TV show you want to make analogy to. That's like the main thing that brings you joy emotionally
Okay.
most of the time in your life, right? So your friends, like someone giving you like a Christmas present, or
Like
falling
your
in
small
love,
circle. Yeah.
right? Falling in love or having kids, or hugging your children. I mean, like 90% of all the movies are about basically stuff like that, right?
Yeah, but like
And
the,
then,
the the happiness within and it was there all along.
well, just look at the catalog of things that humans watch. So if you look at what humans watch on HBO Max, on Netflix, it's about human relationships
Yeah, no, that's
mostly,
true.
right?
Like here, it's kind of like a running gag here in Ecuador. Like at some point, everybody always the one that was number one, like for years and years, was Ugly Betty. Like it's a show
Right?
from like the 90s, and it was still on until they moved it
Yeah,
to like some other
because
platform.
it was a Latino, right, represented on screen.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
when they see the movie, when you see the movie of yourself represented on screen, you're like, oh, that's authentic. That's interesting. That I've never seen that before. That's representation, right? And so that's
Yeah.
what I think Hollywood is trying to do now, and I think that's a good thing. But you have to make sure that it's authentic, and you're not just trying to mix five things together and make it fusion, and somehow it's authentic. It's not, right? And no,
No,
nothing's
no.
real authentic, to be honest with you. So
Well,
when I hear the
like
word like this is traditionally pho, I'm like, well, you know what pho is, right? Pho is a mixture between French and Vietnamese, so there is no tradition. Pho
oh,
is a break of tradition,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
right?
Huh?
So like same thing with barbecue. Oh, this is traditional barbecue.
What's the original
Traditional
one though?
barbecue is basically slaves were given the scraps from the masters because the masters ate all the meat and gave them the bones instead, and to cook the bones slowly and to make them taste good with the tomatoes they had readily and some of the other stuff like the molasses and all that stuff, they were
Yeah.
able to make something that was much better than what the masters ate.
Same thing with the coffee, or like the civet coffee. They're like the slaves were like too poor to actually get the seeds, so they had to go and look for like in the animal's excrement, and then they would use that to make their coffee. And it turned out being
Exactly.
better than yeah, it turned out even better than what
Yeah.
the
So
other
so
guys
like
did.
basically these hacks are basically human hacks that show human creativity in that second movie. So that
Okay,
second movie is between humans and humans solving problems. But actually, some of those movies are actually about the third movie, which is about your how you make money, how do
yeah,
you make a living. So, for example, some of the movies are like, I don't know, like the movies where you rob a bank because you have to basically pay for your family, and that's called Breaking Bad, right?
yeah.
Because
Or
you're
do
gonna
meth
die,
because
and you
exactly you
start
can't
selling
afford
drugs,
healthcare.
or,
Yeah,
or like you want to start a company and you want to form a company, you have to basically raise money, and then you form Apples, and that's Steve Jobs, right? That's another movie, right? And there are
yeah.
movies like that, like Wall Street. There are movies like Wall Street out there. So if you really break it down, your life you can pick three movies to watch at all times, and you alternate between the three movies.
Okay,
So like you're gonna alternate between your personal movie. You're like, okay, I just want to be alone for a little bit. I don't want to have any friends over. I just want to have a chill night,
yeah,
watch
yeah.
some Netflix,
Like it's me time.
some me time. But even when you're in me time, you're actually watching Netflix. So you're actually living your life through another person's eyes. But that's kind of me time too, whatever. But you're thinking
Yeah,
about
yeah.
things, right?
It's about like
You don't
shutting
have
off
to
a little bit.
worry about interacting or using a lot of energy. That's a low energy state.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
Okay. Now, when you interact with other people in a personal relationship where you have a good relationship with someone, like a family that you're actually having a good relationship with,
Hmm.
or a marriage or a friendship or whatever, like or whatever you're in personally, right? Or your roommates in college, like
Yeah.
all those things are like the Gilmore Girls, right? Or the Gilmore Girls are like going to college is like going like friends, like at graduating college, those group of friends that you hang out with, right? That's your immediate circle, and that's basically the sitcom that you're watching every day. That's like the Cosby Show or like whatever your favorite show is, if you have a
Seinfeld,
family,
or like,
right?
yeah, yeah.
But some of that's not real because Cosby turned out to be a creep, and so did the other show, the Seventh Heaven show. There's a show called Seventh Heaven, and he was supposed to be a priest,
Is it one
and
with
the actor
Corky?
turned out to be like a sex, like
Ah,
a
sex offender.
child, sex,
Shit.
yeah,
I feel like it's
not good.
always like that. It's like man, like you like Jared.
So what you guys have is you have a peek into basically the third movie for me and Roberto, right?
Hmm.
And to some degree, our friendship, the second movie, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's building up, man.
And to some degree, I'm giving you my thoughts while I invent these thoughts or think about these things. So I guess we're giving you a glimpse into our own personal movies too, right?
Yeah, it's as it's playing out right now.
So
So
this
like,
is really happening. So
yeah,
Republic's not looking good. I'll be honest with you. Like the Republic thing, we only have like
where we
32,
at?
33, 34,000 right now.
I'll check right now.
But that's because I haven't really done too much in it. But even if I did, I don't feel very, very good about it right now.
It's $33,060.
Here's why I
80
don't feel good
investors.
about it, right? Here's why, right? To do Republic, you're going to have some type of like PR, some type of marketing budget, some type of
Okay.
marketing team who can actually execute. So whenever I start a company and I have workers who work with me,
Hmm.
I know what I can do. I know I'm actually very good. I can actually do the entire thing mostly for most
Yep.
of the divisions. Like not every division, but I've been through the around the block a lot where I had to fight fires and actually have to run my own divisions because I don't have anyone to do it. Otherwise, you have to wear many hats as an
Yeah,
entrepreneur.
yeah. Like a
So
jack
I
and all
basically
trades.
take a step back and say, okay, what can my marketing team do? And they can do $33,000 bluntly, right? The people on the team right now. Now, without me pushing the buttons or creating any ideas or momentum, as a boss, you want to kind of give your staff some freedom. The reason you want to do this is because sometimes they surprise you, they overachieve, right? And they do things that you don't even know that you're supposed to tell them they should be doing.
Okay.
And those are the moments where I know that's a winner. Okay. So those people are going to be future leaders in my company. Because when you do these things, let's say you go fight a war.
Hmm.
Not only are you fighting the war today, but you're thinking about who you want to promote tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah. Who has potential?
Who,
Then?
yeah, you're testing the mettle, you're testing your troops, the mettle of your troops, and those who step up, those who give the most insight, those who you see, wow, they have something to contribute. You have to keep a mental note of that. And you also have to allow for it to happen.
Yeah, like
Does that
not
make
taking up too
sense?
much space. Yeah, like.
Well, you allow for it to happen because you in a vacuum,
Hmm.
without leadership, is anyone going to step up besides me?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
Does that make
that's the thing.
sense?
Like, well, yeah, no, it does because like just to maybe clear it out. When you allow it to happen, it's just that you don't do everything. Like you leave some things undone on purpose.
Well, it's not like you allow it to happen and then no one's supposed to be accountable for it.
Yeah.
You say you are accountable for it.
Okay.
Here's the North Star. Why don't you tell me your plan? I'll support it. I'll help you with the plan and we'll craft it. And then let them see. You see how would they organize any meetings? You see if they had come up with a plan. You see if they're huff and puff or they're actually organized leaders.
Okay.
Okay. If they're organized leaders, then you keep them or you promote them or you let them lead. If they need a little bit of help,
Hmm.
give them a little bit of help. Like, hey,
Yeah,
this is an
be there.
example of me leading in another meeting, in another context. Why don't you come and join and see how that works? And through osmosis, you create a teaching environment of the peers. where you're never ever telling your staff exactly what to do. You give them goals, and then once you give them goals, you test them to see where their strengths are, their weaknesses are, and then you enable them where they're strong, and you augment them where they're weak. Does that make sense? And so that's the Tai Chi way to be a manager. That's the way I do it. That's the way where like you basically hire good talent who are already motivated. You give them something they really want to do, a mission. In other words, I'm a producer of their movie. That's why I brought up this whole movie thing. So I think about it. I'm saying, okay, if I hire this person, I'm asking them to become the lead actor in a movie. The lead actor in their movie is going to go to work. That lead actor is that person, and they want that job because that's a movie they would never put down. They're not
they want
gonna
to be in
stop
it.
watching whether Seinfeld or Friends or Law and Order or whatever their favorite Chinese serial series is, or Netflix series. The idea is it should be not something that they have to do.
Okay, but they enjoy
Many
doing.
people take that third movie, because they're forced to watch that movie.
And then that sucks.
They're forced to go and work at a job that kind of sucks. And then the two movies that really are great are the either personal or the sitcoms. But if you look at the sitcoms, a lot of the sitcoms are about people who hate their jobs, or they don't even know what their jobs are. They don't even talk about their jobs because their jobs aren't that interesting at all.
Yeah, 'cause it's kind of exactly. Like it's just what makes them money, so like you can see the rest of their lives unfold.
So basically, 2/3 of your life
Yeah,
you're living, and 1/3 you're renting or being told what to rent and all that stuff. So the idea is you have to choose that third movie, and so I have to be, as a producer, make that movie so attractive that people will go out of their way to rent that movie, keep that movie, and never return it, and then they basically become the Brad Pitt, the Angelina Jolie, whatever actress or actor that is going to win and become a hero and maximize their potential and really want to go to work because it's not even work.
exactly.
They're an action star, or they're whatever the movie that they're in. So, for example, let's say you just graduate college and you go want to work somewhere cool. That's crazy, and with some freedom, right? And you say, hey, I'm actually the best, and I really think I can do it, and I need the opportunity to show it. I don't have to wait 10 years to be promoted to that opportunity. I feel I can do it now. I can show with my stuff, and I can just maximize what I have. But yet I also have peers who are better than me, who I can learn from, who can even make me better. And over time, I want to make engineering a sport. Okay?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
engineering itself is mental, but it's the same as sports. So why does Tiger Woods, why does Michael Jordan, why does Tom Brady, why does Roger Federer or whoever, why do these athletes get paid millions of dollars?
It's part of the show,
Because
though. It's entertainment. Yeah.
no, yeah, because people want to watch what they produce, or what they produce is so valuable that only they can produce that tennis match,
Yep.
or that TV show, or that song. For artists, for example, right? They get paid a lot of money too. But why this one profession? You have artists who are multimillionaires, but you don't have coders or engineers who are multimillionaires. They don't have max contracts. They don't have like $20 million a year max pay.
Yeah.
5 years max contracts.
Yeah, no,
Because
it is. And we
you
use a
know
bunch
what?
of things that coders do every day.
Because people don't realize, right, that coders are
Yeah.
the most gentle people, the most introverted, the people who don't really care about money. We care about what we're working on. We love the movie we're in. We don't even think about that ET is going to make $1 billion for Steven Spielberg.
Exactly.
We're just in the ET movie, right?
It's just and that was kind of an issue though, because like I remember in animation, like I've talked to a ton of like amazing animators that were in these like crappy budget projects, but the project was so appealing to them. They're like, okay, it doesn't matter. I'll take the pay cut, and I just want to work on this. And that's how they abuse the artists like severely.
Right. But then
Yeah.
artists are taking
Mhm.
over. So
Yeah.
artists are going to Spotify, making direct deals with Spotify.
Exactly.
They used
Like
to hate Spotify, but now they realize, Spotify technology enables you.
yeah, no more middleman.
Enables you to do what? To get credit where
Yep.
you deserve it.
Which is in my head is like it's basic respect. I mean, like if you did something, that's it. Like you did it.
So do you know who actually created the iPhone? Actually, the person, not the person who conceived of it, but the coder. Probably not.
No,
Probably not. He
no.
probably got paid. Maybe oh she did got paid. I don't know. Maybe they did. Maybe they didn't. But the idea is, I would like to change that. I would like to
Yeah.
reimagine getting the best people, but not all of them. I want the geniuses, and that's part of the reason I have this show. Right? I want to show you what you're getting into. This is the reality of what you're getting into. I tell the truth about what's going on with the company. The company is about to go out of business. Okay, we
Fantastic.
can't make payroll probably, and we'll make payroll because we have consulting, right?
Okay.
But we have to downsize if we want to keep you know doing well, or we can go out of business, but we're not, right? Because we're not going to go out of business because we have Republic, but guess what? Republic's not working out so well.
Yeah,
But
no,
that's
but
because I
like,
haven't turned it on, and
yeah,
I was
yeah.
testing my marketing team. But once I turn it on, I feel like I can probably get a couple $100,000, because with my pure just trying really hard. But then what happened was, okay, this always happens. You make your own luck. You make your own luck by putting yourself out there and talking to investors, and then treating people right and putting money in the bank. You
Yep.
put money in the bank, and through relationships, people trust you.
Yes.
And then the stars sometimes align where people don't want to trust you right now, but maybe they'll trust you later. And then guess what? I have two leads, and I want to show you how you actually get money. Okay. The way you get money is not going to an incubator and pitching to 1,000 people. That might work if you have a really awesome idea, hot startup, and all that stuff that exists already that you can really prove works well. But how do you get it off the ground when it's not even there yet, right?
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
you think it's there, you have 2/3 of the way, but that 1/3 is really hard to believe. Whatever that 1/3 is, right? So you need an investor.
Yeah. It's
But
still
so you
incomplete.
go out there and you pitch, and all these investors who say they do early shit, seed, they do ground level. None of them actually really do it. I'll tell you the truth because I've been pitching a lot of investors. Okay, they're all frankly full of shit.
Okay. They
Frankly,
want like
because
the full
they're just
product.
trying to get a lead gen pool,
Okay.
and then once they know that's very successful, then they'll jump in. They'll follow. It's almost like you're like a bunch of lions,
Yeah.
and they're waiting for that one lion to be brave and catch that wolf or whatever it is that's really quite dangerous. Kill the wolf, and then everyone will pounce on it once they kind of know that lion's going to win,
Yeah.
and then they get
Yeah.
credit, right? So that's kind of the same thing, right? But then
That
there are
shit
people
though.
who actually want to actually invest, okay?
Yeah.
And those people who want to invest don't really want to invest. They're just friends of yours, or people who just happen to be there, that happen to see something that interests them. Something that interests them, and what would interest them. Again, think of the movie paradigm. Let's say you just got rich.
Okay.
Okay. Let's say you just got rich and you want to invest. That's one movie you have to imagine starting from. If I start from that character, what would that character want? Right? That character wants maybe to invest in someone because they want to relive their excitement of the past business. They had a company, they're too old to do it now, but when they were young, they used to throw the football really, really good, but now they want to own the football team instead.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
analogy is like I used to be great at this. I used to be good at cooking, and I know how to make restaurants, but I'm not too old to wash dishes and to stay up all night and to do the service every day.
I'll
But I'm
just
willing to
skip the
invest in
line.
restaurants.
Yeah. I'll skip the line and just like go straight up. I want to be a chef.
Or so they know something, or I can help somebody who looks like me.
Okay. Like a
Does that make
proxy
sense?
dreaming. Yeah. Well, that's
It's
usually
it's
what
a
happens with your
voyeuristic
kids,
way
though.
to look at that movie of your youth.
Yeah, it's like
You
projecting.
have to psychologically get into the head of the investor. Okay, because now what you need to realize is investors are just people. They want to be part of a movie, They feel excited about it. They're going around looking at investments like movies. They're looking at this movie and that movie on Netflix, that movie. And there's so many movies on Netflix,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, yeah. There's tons of options all the time. Everything.
But then you can only rent 5 movies at a time or 3 movies at a time. You don't have that many. You don't have that much money. You have to
Yeah.
actually pay for these movies. Let's say, right,
Yeah. No.
to
Exactly.
watch the movie, right? Let's say you're a Blockbuster back then. You had to go actually rent 3 movies max. You could do the weekly 3 movie deal where you have a membership and you can do 3 movies at a time per week. You can only pick 3 movies. You can pick 3 companies a year. So
I
what
haven't
movie
heard
would
the
you
word
pick,
blockbuster
Roberto?
in a while. I don't know. What would I pick? Like if like amongst the world options right now.
You're that character. You're that character. You just made it rich,
Uh huh.
right? You have money. You're an angel investor. So
Okay.
think what angel investors are. So angel investors are not companies yet. They're recently wealthy people, right? Who are businessmen probably, or
Yeah. Yeah.
businesswomen,
But it's a guy.
or artists. Like the Kanye, he wants to do, he bought
Oh,
Parlor
Kanye.
and some other companies, right? And then you have all these sports people want to do it, but basically recently rich people who want to go to a casino.
Okay. Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
this
Yeah. And see.
casino is hot because this casino is the future. It's like the future casino. I'm going to bet on the future. I'm going to rent this movie where I can participate in the future and be a somebody. Because I'm Tom Brady already. And when I retire, I want to be an announcer because I still want to be somebody.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
am a restaurateur. I'm retiring, but I still want to be in the restaurant game. I still want to stay on top. I still want to be part of the game. I want to be invited to the Oscars. I'm no longer an actor, but I'm going to
Yeah.
start directing and producing movies and
Yeah.
TV shows
Okay.
because I love the scene.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, it does because that's why you're there. I mean, you've worked in this your entire life, or you've been trying to get this point your entire life. So, why would you let go? Or if you
So
have
let me
an
give you
aim,
let me give you a
yeah,
movie, right? So a really lame movie that's boring, or a really exciting movie. Which one would you pick?
the exciting one.
So what's more exciting? Pitching that you're going to take over the world and you're going to be Facebook, or you're going to have a moderately sized business.
I'm putting money on Facebook.
Okay. So this is not about you and your ego or how awesome you think you are, or how not awesome you are. You have to make the movie people want to watch.
Yep. Yeah, that's true. So you need that distance because you are not the consumer of your product, probably.
You know you're not the consumer. Just think about your life. Again, you think about your life. You have 3 movies. You got your business movie. The business movie is the investor point of view. Their business movie is they can watch 3 companies from the inside and help co-produce those movies with
Yep.
those entrepreneurs. So you're almost like a guardian angel or a producer on a TV set. You
you're
get to
helping out
put a
with
little
them.
bit of money into the movie. It's like you're saying, okay, I like the Titanic. I can't direct, I can't do photography, I can't edit, but I'm gonna put some money behind the script and all that stuff. I believe in the director. He came pitch me, and that's what startups are like. Okay, so think of it as a movie, and so I presented 2 movies. I'll present you 2 movies of why I think both of these investors will say yes,
Oh,
and I
both.
want to show you how you craft the movies. And this movie is right in front of them, and they have to choose yes or no. Okay, so one movie is this. So this person I know, I won't say the name of the person,
Ooh.
is
Mystery.
a very successful person around my age. I've known him for a while. I've asked him to invest in a long time,
Okay.
many times in my startups. He never invested in anything. He would always say yes to the pitch, maybe listen politely, but no, turned it down. Well,
At
this
the end,
time,
though, or or just like
no,
did
at
did
the
he
very
lead you
beginning,
on
he
to
wouldn't even get
anything?
to first base. He would say, "Hey,
Okay.
maybe I'll look at it," and he might even not respond.
Okay. And
So
never.
I was like,
Okay.
okay, this is one of those things where like, okay, he just casually, because I play tennis with this guy, another friend of
Okay.
mine, and they play tennis with each other and some other stuff, and they're just talking about, hey, how are things going? And my friend said, hey, you should look at Phuc's company, and I thought it was just another look from this guy, who I thought, hey, maybe he's just gonna look and just walk away again,
Like he's looked before.
right? But here's when you get lucky. Okay, we also have been talking to this other venture capitalist, another bigger company, a bigger fish. So
Okay.
this guy's an individual that we're talking to, but we're also talking to other big fish and other small fish, a bunch of fish. This other VC is a really big one. It's actually quite really great. Number one, we'd love to have that person.
Okay. Bigger than
That
your friend.
person we had been interacting with that company for like a year, maybe more than a year.
Okay.
But guess what happened? They said, "Hey, you were too early for you guys are way too early for us, but I think you should apply for these grants and you should do these things, and then we regroup in a year." So that's what we did. We regrouped with them in a year, after a year, and they said, "Hey, you guys pivoted, you changed from a water sewage thing or whatever you were trying to figure out. You didn't know what to do.
To
Now
e-waste.
you actually have a very clear vision. I'd like to go visit the lab." And they visited yesterday,
I have a question though,
and they
like just to
loved
make a
it.
parenthesis here. Like, what makes it so that a gigantic company would make like if they have this much budget, why wouldn't they have like a subdivision, like just for like smaller projects?
Well, just think of it this way: you make three investments a
Okay.
year out of whatever money you have. So you have a large bank account. You spend more per item. So you were going to buy three cars, and you're rich. You're going to buy three Teslas.
Okay.
But then when someone comes and say, "Hey, I want to pitch you my Honda Civic," what would you do?
Like I'm good.
It's too early for us, man. I like Honda Civics, but when you have a hot rod that looks like a
Yeah,
Tesla
yeah.
from Honda,
Like
come
I'd
back to
rather
me.
I'm gonna walk.
Now you get the perspective there, where like they can only do three cars, and they're in the Ferrari shopping business because they shop for big companies or they shop for companies that they know they can help.
Okay.
And you guys are like, okay, you want to make a horror movie, but you don't, and you think it's gonna be about Halloween, but you don't have the script yet, man. When you come
Okay.
back with the script, I'll read it and I'll check you out later. That's what happened, right? You know what I'm saying? So you,
Yeah.
you just
Yeah.
got this
Yeah.
invention. You don't have a script of how you can make money. I suggest you do these things and come back to me in a year.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
So one of the things we did was we went to get grants, and I talked about on the show how we try to get grants from the state, and we didn't get a grant. Okay, so it didn't work. But one of the people we actually interacted with, who helped us, apply, became an employee of this new company, this fund as well. So now we have her, that knows about us and is friendly. We also have this guy who's friendly from a year ago, and then this individual also knows someone from there.
Okay. It's
So we
happening.
know two people from there that we've been warming up or know from relationships. They like us and they followed us and they like we love the new pivot, how and they can help and all that. And this guy also knows someone there, and actually this guy is pretty important. So this small fish thinks that if we get the big fish, that his investment would be safe.
Of course. You get like into like too big to fail territory.
And that's what you have to think about, like the movie for most investors. So most investors who are small fish, they say, "Let me help you, but I can't help you get all the way there. I can't get you all the way up the mountain. I need to know who the next investor is going to be, who the next big fish that's going to support you." And you come to them and you say, "You know what? I have a fueling station on the moon. I have all the fuel that I need to get to Mars. That's all set. But I just need you to help me pay from here to the moon."
Okay.
And
Yeah.
then you're like, "Oh," and then the investor says, "Oh, that moon base? Oh yeah, I know the commander of that moon base. I'm aware of that moon base. I know what you're trying to do here. Let me think about it. Let me see if I want to invest in this. But I understand what you're trying to do because the commander of the moon base, I know personally. I'm gonna have drinks with them next week, and I'll see that's about. And I'm probably gonna do it." So
That's
so
awesome.
that's the first movie, right? So that's the movie where like, okay, we just happen to just keep grinding and keep putting ourselves out there and just make our own luck. Because we already had this big fish. We had worked and tried to get the fish. They fished like too early. We were patient and we kind of like said, "Hey, we'll keep in contact." We pivoted. They saw progress and they believe that we can make promises that we can
Deliver. Yeah.
deliver. So what on the show we say, "Hey, if you can make promises and deliver on the promises, then people trust you more."
Of course.
So you build trust over time because you said, "Hey, I'm gonna make a Halloween movie, and I was gonna have the script in a year for you, and here's a year, and here's the script, and it's freaking rock solid. You want to make a movie? That's
Of course.
that's how you do in Hollywood, right? You say,
Yeah.
I'm a creative person, but I have structure, I have process, I'm a professional. I could deliver on my promises, and the album or the movie is going to be amazing because you can trust me." we're aligned, right? So that's what you need to do. So if you're in that the shoes of the investor, you want to rent that movie. You want to say, hey, that's a great movie. I like that movie. I saw a trailer.
Yeah.
I saw a trailer of that movie during my interactions with this individual. I spoke with this person. They made me some promises that were pretty credible. I'll be honest with you. I said, you said you're going to write a rock solid script. I read that script last night. It was actually pretty rock solid. I liked it a lot. It's pretty deep. I thought you couldn't make a Halloween movie that was fresh and had ideas that were novel. But man, this whole thing with the creative way you use drones or robotics and make it like blah 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 sci-fi, and you have it be Halloween. That's hot, and we're gonna basically do it. That's what I'm hoping they say, right? So I'm not saying that's gonna happen, but that's the first movie, right?
Well, like you're not that far off, though. I mean, like if that initial guy that technically plays for the other team is rooting for you, and he's like, I can get you there, then that's already
also a reason why you want to participate in the movie. It's not a movie you're just watching.
Yeah, no, he wants in.
The person can help navigate the relationship and improve your chances. So as a producer, oh yeah, you know those drones that you want in scene 5? I have a warehouse of drones because I own a drone company.
Exactly.
No problems. All the drones you want, unlimited.
Whatever.
So this person would be more likely to go and join your movie because they know that problem, that is a huge problem, that big problem, that part of the script that's very expensive. It's not a big issue because you got it solved. So what we said to them, hey, we have all these regulatory, we have all these issues, we have all these like things we want to build. We want to work with the government. We want to do all this stuff. And guess what? Those big fish said, oh, that's not a problem. I just give one phone call. I'm good. So what you need to do is say, okay, all those things that were tough about my business actually might be a strength of my business. Does that make sense? So let's say
because you solved it.
Let's say I can't get fuel for my economy because I don't have oil. But you can't make computers. So I'll buy your oil and you buy my computers and we'll be friends. That's the Middle East and the US, right? They don't have to love each other. They have to tolerate each other. But without each other, they won't have the fuel and the computers. Right?
Yeah.
So that's a symbiotic relationship where you want one person to say yes. Not because you're awesome, but together you're better than without each other. And that's the best kind of business relationship. And that's why I've been so selective with this story, because I want to take money from the people who I want to make the movie with.
Yeah.
If you have a producer who sucks and goes on your set and they said they can give you drones, and the day that the drone shoot happens, they don't give you drones because they didn't call you back and they're very hard to deal with because they promise you stuff they don't deliver.
Yeah. That's a big issue. Like I feel that you're worse than where you began if that person is on board and doesn't deliver.
And I've been through that where like, okay, you promised me this, but you actually didn't do that. And so you have to be very selective. And I think, making the movie is really hard. And basically it's one of those things where you just have to do your best and hopefully they pick that movie. But you just have to pitch it, and that's what we did. We're done. They visit the lab. The big fish visit the lab. They loved it. Nice. They saw with their own eyes the system working. The small fish is thinking about it right now. The big fish is thinking about it right now, and independently, maybe they'll talk. I don't know. But the idea is this could be the end of the fundraise. So instead of me worrying about Republic, which I think I can probably solve. But it's a challenge that is going to take a little bit longer, a little bit more resources, a little bit more luck versus this thing. Does that make sense?
Well, so this thing I feel like the time you would invest in Republic, invested in the other, like on the other front, would be more fruitful. So like, because you have like a limited amount of time and focus that you can give to either one of these.
Well,
So
the thing is,
what?
you have to
Yeah.
do both because you don't know which one's going to win.
Well,
Like you
one's
can go
already
to
being done though.
Hollywood, you can go to Hollywood and try to pitch a movie all you want, and you might get that movie, you might get that producer, but you also have to feed your family sometimes,
Yeah, no, I
right?
mean,
So you
I
get to
totally
say,
get
okay,
that
I'm
part.
also going to become a waiter and a waitress
Yeah.
or accountant or whatever. Why do that? And I have a backup plan in case I don't get that movie script right away. Uh, I have to take this call, but let me call you back. Actually,
Yeah.
let me actually have to end this right now because I have to take this call.
Okay.
Someone's calling me right now.
Yeah, it's
But
fine.
look, that's movie number one. Movie number two, we'll talk about the next podcast. But hopefully, one of those movies actually work out. Okay, I gotta
All
talk to you
right.
later. Bye.
Take care, man, and everybody.
Yeah.
See you guys next week. Bye.